She didn't change overnight, and neither did you. There wasn't a moment where one of you became the problem. No clear turning point, no obvious mistake, just small shifts on both sides. You started reacting differently. She started holding back. Like starting a message and deciding halfway through it wasn't worth explaining anymore. You became a little quieter. She became a little more careful. And neither of you said anything about it because nothing felt big enough to talk about. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't something serious. Just small things that felt too small to bring up, but too heavy to ignore. At first, it didn't even feel like a problem, just a phase. You thought, it's probably just a phase. She's just tired. Things will go back to normal. She thought, maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I expect too much. Maybe I should just relax. Neither of you meant to be toxic or do anything wrong. And slowly, without realizing it, you both started adjusting. Not to each other, but to a version of the relationship that felt easier. Easier to maintain. Easier to avoid conflict. Easier to keep things stable. You stopped asking certain questions. She stopped giving certain answers, but also less real. You spoke, but didn't really say much. You replied, but didn't really engage. You listened, but didn't really hear everything. You were there, but not in the same way anymore. Sometimes she would tell you something small, something random, something that didn't really matter, and you'd respond, but just enough to move past it. And you didn't notice it then, but she did. Not as a problem, but as a feeling. It wasn't just what you did. It wasn't just what she felt. It was the space in between. It was like two lines running perfectly side by side until a small shift, barely noticeable at first, slowly turned into distance. The little misunderstandings, the unspoken expectations, the things that didn't get clarified and just stayed there, not big enough to argue about, but not small enough to ignore forever. There was no explosion, no dramatic ending, just less laughter, less curiosity, less authenticity, less effort to understand each other deeply, and more surface-level peace. Conversations that sounded fine, but didn't really go anywhere. Replies that were quick, but felt empty. At some point, without either of you deciding it, the relationship stopped growing. You stopped learning new things about each other and started assuming you already knew everything. It just stayed the same, until even that started to feel like distance. And maybe that's the part no one really talks about. How something can feel calm and still be falling apart. How nothing feels wrong, but nothing feels right either. You can't point to a problem, but you can feel the difference. How you stop questioning things, not because you understand them, but because you get used to them. It wasn't just you. It wasn't just her. It was what you both slowly became when things stopped being intentional. When effort turned into assumption. When presence turned into habit. When understanding became something you thought you already had, instead of something you kept building. And maybe, if one of you had noticed earlier, things could have been different. Or maybe not. Because sometimes it's not about one moment you missed. It's about all the small ones. The ones you didn't pause for. The ones you didn't think mattered. The ones that quietly added up. Sometimes nothing goes terribly wrong. And still, everything changes. Not because someone stopped caring, but because no one noticed what was quietly slipping away.